Hey there, welcome back. Today we're going to be putting together the base model Ivar cabinet. This is the locker version, and you can find it at Ikea. First things first, let's get the box open. Now, what I like to do is get all of the pieces out of the packaging just so I can have everything laid out on the floor. One thing that I do really like about these IKEA packaging is how they are able to fit so many pieces into this box in this compact form. It's actually kind of an art form if you ask me. Now that we have all of the pieces laid out onto the floor, we will have good visibility on each of the pieces and what shape that they are in. So when we're looking at the instructions, we know where to grab from. Speaking of instructions, let's take a quick look at what we will need for this job. Now it says you need a couple different screwdrivers, a punch, but I personally just had a regular screwdriver and it worked out just fine. Make sure to do this project on a soft surface so you don't scratch the metal. And here is the pieces that come with. Step one is we need to start assembling the base and the sides. Now this here is a side piece. You'll know that because you have these tabs here up on the top. We'll lay this in the way that it shows on the instructions for visibility. We'll take these poles here, and in this orientation here, we will then use that slot in the bottom of the base there to just slide in, and then make sure it snaps closed. And then we'll do the same thing for the other side here. Now we will take the other side piece with these tabs up here on the top, as you can see here. One thing to note is that these two pieces are identical, so you can do whichever piece first, but same thing goes for this side here. We'll get these two poles into that piece, making sure that they snap. Now that we have that assembled, now we can move to the next step, which is the back plates. The back plates are the two largest pieces that come in the package. You'll be able to recognize them because of the hole in the center of the portion there. But what you want to do is find the lipped side. See that little lip that comes out, and that faces down. You'll just slide it into the back here to where it fits into the inside of the cabinet. Now to attach the backing plate to the cabinet, I'm using just a regular screwdriver, and down here, as you can see, there is a little hole with a tab on the backing plate. Now you use a little screwdriver to push that tab in as far as you can to where it will lock it into place. Now there's multiple holes where you can do this at, and so make sure to get all of them that are all around the side. Here, 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 and here. Next step is the other back plate. It's the same piece as before, so what we'll do is find the lipped side, face that down, put that into the cabinet here, just like before, and then we have the little tabs again. See, there's some here, here, and here, and we'll just connect it to the cabinet. On this piece, I like to start at this center one here. It's reversed from the other ones because this one you're going to want to fold upwards. And since you can poke that up, I like to fold it all the way over so that it will hold it into place, and then we can work on the other ones. Now I've folded all the tabs in on this second backing plate, and now we can get the top of the cabinet on. You'll be able to identify the top part of the cabinet by these little slots here on the end. Now, if you remember, the side cabinets had these little tabs here. That is what's going to fit into those slots, and then you can then slide it in and it locks it into place. To know you have the right orientation is that you want to make sure that the lipped side of the top is facing towards the opening of the cabinet. So you see that there, and then you just drop it into place into the larger portion there, and then slide it so that it locks it into place, and it will be sliding towards you. Now that we have the top locked into place, there's a couple tabs here that we need to fold in, like one here in the center, and then here on the back, just like before. We'll just use our same screwdriver to bend those in so it attaches it to the rest of the cabinet. There you go, fold it in, and now it's attached. Now we can work on getting the shelves on. We'll start with the bottom shelf. You'll know it's the bottom because it has the notches around all of the corners, as you can see here. And what we'll do is, you see this lipped side here? That will actually go underneath the front side of this cabinet opening here. So we'll go in diagonal, and then the back up, and then slip it underneath on the front lip there. Just like that. For the middle shelf, we'll use these pieces here to pick a point on the cabinet where we want to put the shelf. Notice how there's little circles there in the between. Though each of those notches, those will actually help you to as a reference point to where you want to do it. So I want to pick the center. There's that center hole there, and we'll just use that slot to then insert it here. Now that we have all of those pieces in, we can now install the middle shelf. Here's the middle shelf here. Note that it is identical each way, so you can't put it in the wrong way. Also, another interesting fact, it claims to hold 50 pounds on this middle shelf here. So take that for what we will, but it seems pretty solid. Now, to finish the shelf installation, we have these pieces here that actually hold the top part of the shelf. So notice how the little slot there is even with the top of the shelf. We insert these little pieces here to then hold it so it doesn't bounce up and down. Now we are ready to install the doors. We'll start with the right door, which is the door with the locking mechanism, as you can see here. Vent side up, and what we'll do is we'll take this little piece here that comes in the hardware and insert it into that little square there on the end. Now, see that little tab there? That's gonna go towards the back. We'll just insert it into that little square. And then what we'll do is see the hole right here on the bottom portion of the door. We will put that hole onto that little piece there, and then we'll grab the hardware for the top. We'll use this piece here for the top hinge, and now what you'll do is you'll put it through these couple pieces here and then up into the cabinet. So guiding it through the first hole from in the locking mechanism, and then up through the door, and then into the cabinet. Now what you'll do is you'll push it into that hole and then twist it to the right and put it into that slot, and then it locks it into place. Now the last step is to bend this little piece here so that little pin doesn't come out. On to the left door. Now it's going to be the exact same procedure as the right door. Here's that locking mechanism, and then also the bottom pin as well. So just repeat that procedure. Next step is to put together the actual locking assembly. Now you'll use this rod that came in the hardware package and this little plastic piece here. Notice how it has a little half moon. It only fits on one direction. Push it onto the rod as far as it can go, and that's what we'll use to attach to the lock. Now what we'll do is we will take this rod here in this orientation, push the rod up through the hole on the door first, and then once you have that, then you can put this over the plastic piece over the locking mechanism. Make sure it goes all the way down, snapping into place. Also, make sure that's flush here because otherwise you will not be able to close the door. Now would be a good time to test to make sure that the key works that came in the package. You can twist into the keyhole and make sure that rod goes up and down in that way, and make sure that it doesn't block when it's unlocked. Looks like this one's good to go. The last step is to put the magnets into the door so it can hold the door shut when it's unlocked. Now there's 4 different slots you can put these into, but they only give you 2 magnets. So they recommend doing top on one side, bottom on the other. So we'll put one here on the bottom, put one here on the top, and then we are complete. And that is the Ivar cabinet. I have assembled a couple already for my new studio, and I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. I want to make more content like this. This is not a tech show. Thank you.